Okay, and it looks like we're on YouTube as well. So, welcome everybody. My name is Harlequin Murray, and I am your co-host this evening, as I am every Monday night. And for those of you who are new here, because I do see a couple of new names at least, welcome. We're glad you joined us and looking forward to getting to know you and working with you. But anyways, for those of you who haven't been here before, Ellen Winn is our team leader, and she is my sponsor. She brought me into the business 6 years ago. She's been in for 7 years, but she does a lot of training with us, and we are very fortunate to have her do that. But for those of you who don't know Ellen, just a little bit about her. She is from an area just outside of Atlanta, Georgia, called Dallas. Yeah, not Texas, but Georgia. But she grew up on her family's farm and lives on that part of that property today. And anyway, after she got out of school, she went into the restaurant industry, worked in that industry for many years. She worked her way up to being a district manager for all of the restaurants in the state of Georgia and was also in charge of training for them. But she decided she had had enough of corporate life and went out on her own and opened up her own pizza restaurant, not a Domino's, it was a Wynn's Pizza. But anyway, she had two locations. And, with that, she knows a lot of things that our business owners are going through. But she also, after she did that, she owns a limousine company and an insurance agency as well right now. But she has been in the network marketing industry for many years as well, doing a lot of, when I met her, she was in charge of training for the entire company. But anyways, we are very fortunate to have her. Like I said, she's been with DAC for 7 years now and has a wealth of knowledge that she is going to impart to us. So without further ado, Miss Ellen, go ahead and take it away.
All right, hold on. Let me find the
Find your camera.
find that camera button. I minimized the window and couldn't find it again. Hey, 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 we got folks coming in still. Awesome. Welcome everybody. Appreciate you being here tonight. We try to make these Zooms short and productive for you. So don't plan to be here for a long time, typically about 15, 20 minutes, depending on how many questions we have. But I like doing these on Monday nights because the corporate Zooms that are held Monday through Friday during the day, a lot of our agents are working other jobs and can't be here during the day. So this nighttime opportunity gives everyone the chance to join and be on and get questions answered. So let me get us into slide share mode. I put together a little bit of information as I usually do. We'll go through our top recruiters in a minute. Excuse me. All right, I see that being shared. All right, this is the intro slide for our funding opportunity where you can become a DAC funding broker. And, this opportunity is incredible. For me, Harlequin said I've been here for 7 years. Thank you, Harlequin, for that introduction. And thanks for all you do each and every week. But I love it because it's a home-based business. I was thinking earlier today about working from home and the time flexibility it affords me, between my limo business, my DAC business, and my insurance agency. I create my own hours. Even with clients in the limo business, I create the hours that I want to work. If there's a trip that I want to go take and work with a client, I can do that. But if I don't, I've got a team of drivers that I can dispatch and send out. So I have the ability to get up and get my day started, get my work knocked out, go play around the golf or go play around the golf and then come back and get my work knocked out or go swim or go visit with friends or family or whatever. And that lifestyle is the most important thing for me because it gives me the ability to really do what's important to me. I learned a long time ago before I left corporate America how corporations rule your time. And then when it comes to the important things in life, Like when my dad was ill and was just a few short weeks away from dying, my company was not giving me the time off that I needed. So after that, after I lost my dad, that was really what pushed me out the door to say, okay, I'm over this. I'm doing my own thing. That was something my dad and I had talked about, and I made that dream come true. So I know Dad was real proud of me, even though he wasn't here to see it in person. But the home-based business flexibility is really the number one thing for me. Also, with our opportunity, you can be a solo agent or you can build a team. And I say this every time, about over 90% of my income comes in from what the team generates, not just what I do. Now, I have dozens and dozens of personal clients, from funding clients to healthcare clients, payment processing, every service that DAC offers. I have clients that have come on board using those services or getting funded, right? But that's just me. If I look at my team and multiply the number of clients that my team has and add that to what I'm already doing, then my income is multiplied many times over by being able to leverage through what the team does. In this example that they share, an $80,000 funding, you're going to earn about 4% of that. So that'd be $3,200 to you as the agent. If you enroll a new agent and bring someone onto the team or new broker, if they earn 3,200, you're going to earn another $320 on top of what DAC paid them just in our 10% minimum match. You can also earn up to 1,600. So that's why we encourage you to refer other folks. You can do the math simply. As that number of agents multiplies, then so does your income opportunity. So that's a great lead in for our top recruiters. We're doing this on a Monday through Sunday basis. This is top recruiters for the 9th through the 15th for just my team. Okay. Ben Randalls came in first place again with 9 new recruits for the week. Congratulations, Ben. In second place, we had Pamela Warnock, DAC Funding Solutions. Pam had 4 new agent recruits for the week. So congratulations to you two top recruiters. We had many people that had 1 new recruit. I was one of those, but to be on the list, you had to have 2 or more to be named as a top recruiter. So congratulations to all of you that had 1 new recruit and didn't make the top recruiter list. And also, if you've been having conversations, whether you were successful in that conversation or not, but you're following the training and encouraging and asking people if they're open to making money outside of what they're currently doing, then it's just a matter of time before you'll be on the top recruiter list as well, as long as you don't quit. So don't be a secret agent. Be out there putting out the good word about DAC. Now, if you're bringing on new agents, make sure that those new agents are reading and saving their welcome letter. I can't emphasize that enough. Make sure we're going through the getting started training and the funding videos to learn how to go through the funding process, which that's going to unlock the game plan video. I want to open up over here on our website. For those of you that are new, if you haven't found your welcome letter, or if you have but you can't remember how to log in, if you go to davidallencapital.com and go down to the footer of the page, under accounts, you've got 2 options. One, you've got broker login. That's how you get into your back office. And once you get into the back office, it's going to take you through to the Agent Resource Center. Once you get over to the Agent Resource Center, this is what you're going to see. It's going to open up on getting started. Okay. That's the onboarding training I was referring to. And then the business funding overview. All of these videos have been updated. David has done some enhancements and all of that. So you want to make sure that you're watching the current version of them. Also on the logos in full drive, if the screen is a little bit smaller, I'll show you, it may say more. You just need to know to drop down, hit that more, go down to the logos in full drive. We have some new updated logos. And this is showing that David Allen Capital Inc., independent broker instead of independent agent. We've been independent. We were independent brokers when I first started. Then we went to being independent agents. And in an effort to really look for those B2B professionals. We've gone back to the term of independent broker, trying to target those B2B professionals that would really latch on to being a broker in the funding space. So that's the purpose of that. And again, that's in your Agent Resource Center under logos and full drive. If I expand that, you'll see that there across the header. Okay. So those are the new things that came out. There's a newsletter that came out today, and you want to make sure that you read that. That newsletter is always packed full of information. DAC sends that out once a week. If there's something important, they're sending it more than once a week, but don't just look over that. It's always full of nuggets. It's full of updates. It's full of success stories and more to help drive your business revenue. So I'm going to come off of screen share. That's all I had on the slideshow. I'm gonna get off of that, stop share. All right. That's all I had on slides that I wanted to share tonight. Again, congratulations to you top recruiters. Guys, today, David talked about doing a 90-day plan and doing a 90-day run. What is a 90-day run? Well, it's you getting started with the getting started training and starting to implement and put that to work, okay? Going through, making your contact list, after you've gone through the game plan video so that you know how many outreaches you need to make. But 90 days, anybody can do a 90-day run on whatever it is, whether you're on a weight loss journey or whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. So I encourage each of you to sit down and carve out what a 90-day success run looks like in DAC. One of the things that helped me personally create huge success initially was I started out of the gate recruiting people to join my team day one. The first day I signed up, I invited someone else, and that someone else got started and brought in a whole team. And they didn't move from another company. He just knew a lot of people and started recruiting, and they started recruiting. And by the end of my first 30 days, I had 300 people in my agency network. So recruit, because here's the thing. If you're recruiting, maybe you're not going to get a client in your first week or your first month even, but if you're recruiting and you have people in your team that are having success, if you're the enroller, you can start making money by earning that 10% match while you're trying to get clients of your own. But when you see your team growing and you've got new people coming on board, that keeps you engaged and keeps you excited in the process of you learning and working towards getting your own clients. So I encourage you to do that, because that is really the multiplication factor in building a huge business and building a huge income here with DAC. So that's my message. I want to see if we have any questions. If not, we will wrap up this call and let you guys get on with your evening. I see Ray has a hand up. I'm going to go over to Ray. There you are. Hey, Ray, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, Ellen. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
All right. So, one question, I know he talked about the core rate and the flex rate. So now that he's mentioned that, he's spoken on those rates, did that the select funding or preferred funding, are those things no longer available now that we have these two options?
No, that's a great question. Actually, what we were referring to as the preferred funding is now our core rate product. So just switch the terminology on it. The flex funding is the product that we've been offering all along, through where we're going to shop and go through whether they qualify for the A lenders, the B lenders, C lenders, D lenders, and going through that waterfall process. That's the flex funding. But the core rate product is the new name for preferred funding. It's more in line with what people think of in the banking space and in the funding space in general. So we just rebranded that, as well as rebranding with independent brokers.
Okay, and so that's no problem. Another question that I had was, now that he's changed it from agent to broker, I got a domain name, but I have it as independent agent. So would that still be a problem if I?
Oh yeah, not a problem. Nope. However you want to do that. I haven't changed out my logos, and I may or may not change out those logos. So, not a big deal. Again, that changing it to broker is just a term that is more attractive to B2B professionals where they can have their own brokerage and be a
Okay.
broker rather than an agent. So it's just a matter of semantics. But you can certainly continue on with the term agent if that's what you prefer.
Okay. And lastly, this is not a question. I was listening to his the video he did last week, culture over quantity. That was really encouraging because, to be honest, um, I have been in the networking space and other things, and I realized when I listen to some people who signed up and say, "Well, yeah, I signed up on this person, but I don't hear from them." I noticed that a lot in the industry. Like people would just want you to just sign up just for numbers,
Right.
just numbers. I mean, you could have 100 or 200 people, and it's like you don't even get in touch with them or communicate. And it never really sat well with me doing that because it's like, why even do that? Because what if all 200 don't do anything? So that's like 200 people that just wasted a lot of energy and time. And I just think it's all about quality over quantity. If you can
Absolutely.
spend time with 3 or 4 people, I mean, it can still be momentum. It just depends on, everybody, getting involved. So that's all I want to say on that. That wasn't really a question, but just something that I, was listening to him talk about. So
Yeah, no, I appreciate that feedback. And as I'm listening to you, I'm thinking about I've recruited over 900 agents with DAC, and there's not a single person on my team that I gave them that pitch that you're referring to of let's go ahead and get you started today, right? Where people with other companies are looking for that sale because it generates immediate income if they recruit an agent, or they're needing the volume to close out the month and qualify for the next level or whatever.
right,
And
right,
that's not the case here. And I've recruited people in other companies and given them that reason to get started today and not wait, but not a single person on my team that I personally have recruited have I encouraged them to go ahead and get started. In fact, everybody that I personally recruited, I had them go through and watch the video, and I said, "Hey, you'll be able to tell if it's a good fit or not after watching a few minutes of the video. After you've watched the video, if you have questions, give me a call, and I'll answer any questions that you have." So I always am encouraging people to only get started if you feel it's a good fit, and I've never pressured them. But I'll say this too, Ray, for you and anybody else on here. Um, just because we have a different culture in the way we get started and the people that we want to work with, you're still going to find many times that people get started with DAC and after they've signed up, they're going, well, I really don't have time. Life gets in the way. I see that over and over again. I've had that happen with myself personally, whether it be my limo business that was taking up too much time or something happened in my personal life that was really distracting and kind of pulled me away. So we all go through those ebbs and flows in this
yeah, me
business.
too.
Yeah, just because someone doesn't engage initially doesn't mean that they aren't going to engage at all. And um, I always just encourage people. I send out my emails, updates, and reminders and all of that to encourage people and reminders to keep people plugged in because I think that's the biggest thing that we can all do is stay plugged in to stay connected. I know personally, and Harlequin can testify to this, if I ever miss a DAC Zoom, if I haven't watched it by the end of the day and there's another training video because training day because we do those Monday through Friday, I feel lost and I'm going, oh my gosh, I've got to go back and catch up because there's always good information, some
Yes.
little nugget or possibly some update that you want to stay on top of. So I stay plugged in. It keeps me encouraged and motivated, and it makes me a better team leader because I have to be on top of what's going on with the company to be able to give you guys accurate information. So thanks.
Yeah, I agree because I'm the same way. I like to, I mean, being that I work and everything, I always, every once in a while I'm able to get on the live, but if I'm not, I always try to do, watch the replays. And sometimes I've watched the replays like more than one time,
Sure.
just, to keep myself encouraged because I'm not going to give up on it regardless. But no, I just wanted to share that because I think it's, what he said was so like really important. Like, at the end of the day, it's more about quality of the team. It's about, it's not about having all these numbers,
Right.
and then you're not, communicating with the people, even though some people will, fall away or don't, get engaged, but, you know, some people just looking more about the numbers. And so that's all I had
Exactly.
to say though.
Yeah, and thank you for that. And one other thing on those numbers, David is running the top recruiters list there in the corporate page, and I've started doing that again. I used to do it, and then I quit doing it. It's really doing that more of an awareness thing to let people know, hey, recruiting and referring this opportunity out needs to be top of mind each and every day, not just getting customers, but looking for those entrepreneurial folks that this might be a good fit for. So
Oh yeah.
that's why we're on top of that and not just pushing the numbers. But every person that I've recruited, and I know Ben, he's on the top recruiters list. I know everybody that he's recruited is going through, they're getting the information of what the program is all about, and then they're encouraged to watch the video before they sign up. So everybody that joins DAC should have seen at least the 4-minute video, preferably the 24-minute video. By the way, that has been updated. If you've not seen the video with David in the coat jacket, you want to watch that. That's been updated on your partner page as well, where he's talking about the using the broker terminology and a little
Okay.
bit of clarification on the pay plan there. So, but that'll be
Okay.
a constantly moving machine. Speaking of business opportunity, tomorrow is Team Building Tuesday. So at 11:30 tomorrow, we've got some team building. And tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern time, there will be a live BizOp presentation with David and McGuire tomorrow night. And then Thursday, we've got Wade and Nick doing a live business overview. So if we don't have any other questions, guys, we can wrap up. I just, again, wanted to be here to answer questions that you may have and remind you and point you back to the important information that will help you be successful. Most importantly, don't give up. Don't quit. Make a commitment to be here a year from now and to have conversations on an ongoing basis with people, letting them know that you're involved with DAC, that you are a funding broker with an alternative funding organization. If you ever hear of anyone who needs working capital to expand or grow their business and they can't get approved at their bank, you're going to be their best solution. So get good at the scripts, read through those. If you'll read them out loud over and over again to where those words start flowing freely from your lips without you stumbling all over your words, then you're on the right path. All right, anything before we wrap up, Harlequin, that I've missed or comments you want to make besides, hey, make sure you log into your back office and click on renew your site.
Yeah, that one.
I know you're always so good about that.
Yeah, the other thing that I would say, David was talking today about on the when we do this 90 days to focus on recruiting people who are already in the B2B space because they don't have they've already overcome that fear of approaching business owners.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be a step ahead of someone who does not have that experience.
Exactly. Good point. Okay, folks. Again, we appreciate you taking time to be here. Thank you for that Harlequin. Let's wrap up, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow on our recruiting and then our live business opportunity.